Hey, it's syndicated radio talk show host, author, singer Al Cole, welcoming you to another edition of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the finest people around. They're my guests, and they come from all over the world, and they talk about how their professional directions have helped to elevate our human family. And in that, we have some great creative forces. People who write books, people who have podcasts, people who are saying things through social media that need to be said, people who are doing things to help the environment. Yeah, social concerns, all of that stuff, education, medicine. Hey, we've seen it all on People of Distinction. And if you want to see more, well, go to my website and you can hear the Apple streams. All my shows are aired through Apple's iTunes radio network, and they air CBS shows, Fox News, NPR, BBC, C-SPAN, the whole kit and caboodle that way. And you can see my associations with people like Ariana Huffington, the founder of the Huffington Post, and a whole bunch of other things. My People of Distinction Humanitarian Awards. And boy, I can't get lost up there at peopleofdistinction.org. That's the website you want to run to, peopleofdistinction.org. And you can also email me if you have any questions, anything I can help you with, or to be a guest on People of Distinction. Email alcoleholic@gmail.com. You heard me right. That's ALCOLEHOLIC@gmail.com. And I really want to thank my CBS radio listeners for coming up with that handle, Alcoholic. It seems like from day one, my listeners have been saying, Al, we love what you're doing there, brother. In fact, we're hooked on it. We're Alcoholics. Also a New York Times best-selling author with Chicken Soup for the Soul. Chicken Soup for the Soul is distributed by CBS's Simon & Schuster. So we keep it in the family that way. Coming up, a real family kind of guy. I'll tell you, he's going to be talking about our human family, a big part of it. His name is Daniel Acosta, Daniel Acosta-Walz, and he didn't actually write the book that he's going to be talking about. It was his deceased husband, Patrick Acosta. And boy, we're going to be talking it up about something that is going to relate to you, people. Whether, you're Jewish, Christian, Islamic, or anything else under the sun as far as religions, or maybe you haven't even gotten to that point yet about, I'm not sure what religion I am. Well, maybe Daniel can help you out here with his reflections on the book called Gabriel of Noah's Ark. Whoa. Now, everybody has heard of Noah and Noah's Ark. All the animals in the world, a couple of them each, and getting together. I don't know how they all fit in that ark. Okay. But, we just accept that Noah's Ark was a reality a few thousand years ago or so. And we're going to be talking about Gabriel of Noah's Ark. Well, we know about Gabriel as far as, that trumpet blower. Gabriel, the right-hand man of God, you could say. Maybe that's the Gabriel that Daniel's talking about. We're going to find out. Daniel's going to be talking about a lot of things in the book that was written by Patrick Acosta, Daniel's deceased husband. Gabriel of Noah's Ark. Now, the short end is, this combines three of the biggest religions ever, and they're all listed in the Old Testament. If you're a Christian, well, you know about the Old Testament. If you're Jewish, you know about the Old Testament. And, even if you're Islamic, you know about the Old Testament. And you probably heard of Abraham. Whoa. Abraham, the father of three religions. And Daniel's going to be talking from that point of view. Well, Abraham has kind of like bonded us together, these three religions, and a whole bunch else too. We have more in common than we have in difference in this world, people. That's People of Distinction talk. And Daniel's going to be following up with that talk with my son Benji. And people know by now that Benji is a force in his own right with interviewing. He's doing a lot of interviewing on his own. And right now, we're co-doing it because I'm doing the introduction, and I'll come back in at the end to do the outro. Benji will do the whole body of the interview with Daniel and make it sound great. And you're going to want to order this book. That's how great it's going to be. Gabriel of Noah's Ark. You got to order that. And you can order it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble. And run to Daniel's website as well. Order it, check it out, and you can learn more about Daniel Acosta-Walz at his website as well. AcostaBooks.com. That's AcostaBooks.com. And he was brought to us by a great link up to books. In fact, they're called UR Link. Wonderful publisher in this world that links you and your book up to greatness. So I want you to run to urlinkpublishing.com for all of your book needs. If you got a book you want to move it through UR Link. Welcome, Benji, first to People of Distinction, and then you're going to welcome Daniel. How you doing today, Benji?
Fantastic, Al. Always a pleasure being here on the show with you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're going to talk it up here. You are with Daniel and talk about Gabriel of Noah's Ark, find out what's on Daniel's mind about that. And, of course, we give the writing credits to Patrick Acosta, Daniel's deceased husband. So you can take it over right now and bring Daniel on board with People of Distinction with Al Cole and Benji Cole.
Absolutely. Well, let's just jump right in, guys. Let's not keep you holding any longer. Dan, first and foremost, thank you very much for being a guest with us on People of Distinction. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and I'm very honored to be on your show today.
Likewise. Well, the honor is all ours, so thank you very much. So, Dan, without further ado, talk to me about the book, Gabriel of Noah's Ark. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, well, Gabriel of Noah's Ark is about, obviously, the story of Noah's Ark, but Patrick has told it in a unique way. Gabriel, not the Gabriel of the Bible that you are familiar with, but Gabriel is a lion, and he had a close relationship with God, and God gave him the honor to gather all of the animals together and bring them to Noah. And so we have a wonderful story here about the relationship of God and the animal kingdom, as well as the animal kingdom and Noah and man, as well as the relationship between God and man, and bringing that all together.
Beautiful. So we're already connecting our human family that way, which is something that we love to do here in People of Distinction. So it's so applicable to our audience that we're speaking to. Now, Dan, tell me a little bit about the title behind the book. I mean, how did Patrick decide? Obviously you've hinted to it already about he's taking a very unique perception on a classic story, of course, that we've all heard, of Noah's Ark. But the title of the book, Gabriel of Noah's Ark, how did Patrick decide on that title? And what is the reference to it?
Well, originally the book came out about a good 25 years ago. He was actually a picture book. He was a wonderful artist, and he drew a picture book, and it was called Gabriel's Ark. And basically, Gabriel, being it was his ark that was with Noah as the leader and Gabriel. And through the years, Patrick grew in spiritual awareness and looking beyond his normal upbringing of Christianity. He was brought up in a Catholic family, and he was looking, beyond that. And the book evolved into more of a children's novel, to where he researched the different religions, Muslim, Jewish religions, read the Quran, as well as the Bible, and brought that all together. And Gabriel, being such a name of authority and connection with God, was a name that really called to him and united those three together. And so Gabriel, the lion, he always was so close to the animal kingdom. He was very nature oriented. And so he wanted to have the main character be an animal, and Gabriel being a lion, the king of the beast, and bringing the king of beasts together with also man, Noah being an authority in the with people, and so bringing those two together, the man of beast, king of beasts, and the man of beast together.
Wonderful. Yeah, and one thing that you said that really stuck out to me is, you were kind of hinting towards Patrick's spiritual awareness, and one thing that I love every time I have an author on our show that has what I would categorize is a religious or a book regarding around religious context that way. It's always fascinating, to see the different responses. And you started off before I even had to ask the question, talking about Patrick's spiritual awareness that way and how he researched other religions. And it's not just going to be focused on a very specific Christianity viewpoint. And that I think is profound and really beautiful to really expand it to our entire human family that way. And I just have to acknowledge that and lend credence to that, because of course that is something that it's not a very easy thing to do, coming from what it sounds like, coming from a strong religious background that way, to kind of branch off, but to look at other religions as well and incorporate that in his creation, I think is a really beautiful thing. Next question that I'd like to go into, Dan, is talk to me about the inspiration. I know you obviously worked side by side with Patrick on this book, and you helped him in a number of ways in terms of, just kind of being the air that he would be able to bounce ideas off of, and, kind of helping him create the narrative that way. But what was the inspiration that you believe helped Patrick create the narrative for this book?
Well, Patrick wanted to, again, unity, bringing together to get three religions, we go back to the same origins. And it even goes back farther than Abraham. It goes back to our origins of, Adam and Eve. We're all are one. We're all one. And even though we might have branched out and we all have our different stories to tell, there are hundreds of stories of Noah's Ark. And then you may not use the name Noah. They may have a different name for the person who gathered the animals together. But every culture has a story. Every culture tells it in a way that is meaningful to them. And we got to understand that behind the story, there's a truth. And the truth is that we all come from the same origins. We all come from God. And we're all part of the same family. And so we need to recognize that. And even though we might call ourselves Muslims or Christians or Jewish or whatever religion that you choose to be, we're all one family. We're all children of God. And so no matter how you tell your story, it all comes back to the same origin. And seeing that we all need to be united and think together. And we ought to look at who we are, and also what planet we live on, and the animals that are here on the planet. We are here to care for them, the nature, and we're here to preserve nature and care for our animals. And like Noah's Ark, he gathered all the creatures together to save them, and we need to save our planet. We need to save the animals that are on it, and we need to come together to be able to do that. Wonderfully put. I mean, what's so powerful about that message, Dan, in hearing you speak, I mean, really something that myself included should acknowledge more. I mean, we do these interviews all the time, and you are by no means the first author to bring a religious book to our table. And a lot of times we're always discussing, I mean, the name of the show is called People of Distinction. I mean, we focus on the people that are distinct in that way. But, what's so lovely about hearing you speak is the message that you're talking about is not limited to solely our human family.
it's really our family across the board. You know, the animals are also incorporated, and they play a part in that family, in that kinship as well. And I think that's such a wonderful and unique perception to take, that a lot of times, and again, just speaking from my own experience and my own viewpoint, it's something that I don't take into consideration nearly enough, because we're all in this together. I mean, no pun intended, but we're all on this ship together, right? So as the animals
Exactly.
are Noah's Ark, we're all traveling along this this crazy sea of life in that way. So that's fantastic to hear you say that, and thank you for that acknowledgement. Guys, again, on the line here with Dan Walz, my apologies, Dan Acosta-Walz, talking about the book that his late husband, Patrick Acosta, wrote called Gabriel of Noah's Ark. It's available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And this is such a profound book in so many ways that we've already hinted towards. But what we're currently facing, of course, in today's society here in the States and also globally, I mean, this is a time more than ever that we really need to acknowledge every single facet of our family that way, human and animalistic alike. We're all in this together, and we're all facing a very similar tribulation, very similar adversity that way. And this book is really one that talks, as Dan so eloquently put it a second ago, talks about unity and unification. It's something that we definitely need in our life. So not only can you find this book on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, guys, but you can also go directly to his website, acostabooks.com, where you'll be able to find a book trailer and more info regarding this book, as well as his Instagram page also. And you can find his Instagram page at author Patrick Acosta. You'll be able to get more information that way as well. Dan, thank you so much. Next question that I have, just keeping it moving here, and you already started to hint towards this, so my apologies if it's redundant this way, but really talk about, I mean, you discussed the inspiration behind it and the research that Patrick did to bring this book to fruition. Why do you feel that he felt that this was a book that needed to be written?
That is a very good question. And, Patrick, again, he felt that people really needed joy in their life. And Patrick such a great illustrator. If you look at the pictures in the book, they are alive. They show personality. They have humor. And in the book, it's not just like you're reading out of the Bible. He's telling a story, it may be a little, humor in there. He has beautiful expressions on Gabriel, as well as other characters in there. Bringing a story that, a mom or dad could sit with their kid and read it to them. One that, we all love to read stories to our kids, and sit there and read a story that a parent could enjoy just as much as a child and who they're reading to. A story that they can discuss and talk about. And one that shows love and humor and brings, again, back to unity, bringing us together at nighttime to read to our kids, or maybe in the afternoon on a rainy day, read a story to the kids, something that brings joy and happiness. So again, unity and bringing together and showing the beauty of this world and the laughter and joy of this world.
Beautiful. I mean, there you guys have it. Such a powerful message that, again, is easy, so easy to get behind, regardless of the things that you're going through in life. I mean, that's really what it's all about, right? Love for each other and love for our human family that way. Dan, last question I have for you before we head out. If there is one thing that you really want our audience here at People of Distinction to be able to pull from this interview, that they have to take away and go home with, what would that message be?
That we are all one family, and we all come from our same origins. No matter what our beliefs, political, religious, or whatever it is, we need to unite together as one human family, but one global family, as well as, not just, us as people, but our nature, our animals that we care for, everybody together, and look past our differences and look toward our similarities. Again, there's hundreds of stories of Noah's Ark, of a flood, and looking at the history that we have, and learn from our past and look towards our future in a positive way, and come together as brothers and sisters of a global community.
Wonderful. Dan, you talked about, there was the second reference you made to about there are hundreds of stories of Noah's Ark, and that is absolutely correct. You're right in that there are hundreds of stories of Noah's Ark, but at least in my experience, there's only one that I've found so far that takes the perspective that Patrick took in this book that way, and I find that to be refreshing and just absolutely delightful. So, from all of us here at People of Distinction, thank you so much for bringing this book to our table, and we truly appreciate having you be a guest with us today.
Again, I'm very honored to be here, and thank you very much.
And thank you, Daniel, from Al right now. Benji did a marvelous job. So did you, Dan. And I'm going to cap it off with a couple of cents of my own to underscore the great sense that both you and Benji were making throughout the interview about elevating our human family. And this goes out to you, my people, my listening audience right now. What Dan was talking about earlier in the show, that we're all one. Now, we've heard that before. Dan's not exclusive in making that statement. In fact, we have all made that statement at some point in our lives. We realize that, wow, boy, these other people around me, even if I don't know them, they look like me. I mean, in the generic sense. And why can't we get along? Everybody's asked that question sometime. Well, how about this? When was the last time you asked the question, hey, what happened the day that I was born? The minute that I was born? Maybe that can solve a lot of problems here, answer a lot of questions. The way I put it is, everybody came out the same way. Nobody was born at the mature age of 21 years old. Everybody was born the same way, and everybody who was born said to themselves the same thing, maybe in different ways, but they said the same thing. Wow, I'm here. I made it. I'm actually alive. Isn't that the greatest blessing of all, people? Just to be alive at all? Certainly it is. And one of the reasons that it is, and probably the biggest reason that it is because you have a chance to experience love. Now, being alive is one thing, but experiencing the greatest vibrational energy and beautiful emotion and that beautiful binding spirit that has that potential to get us back from whence we came. And that is, well, you could say God, and that Noah's Ark, and Gabriel, and everything else in the Old Testament, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and why stop there? Everything else, Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, whoa, keep it going. Every single human being, even if they don't define themselves by a religion, has that beautiful spirit of love within. And every once in a while, boy, we're able to incorporate that with somebody else on the planet. Usually we call them, well, our spouse, or our children, or a mother, father, sister, brother, the best friend too. Everything that involves anything that we consider to be positive, well, comes from love, comes from friendship, everything. And see, you have that repository within you, people. That already existed within you when you were first born, and you said, whoa, life is a trip. I want to be here. Thank you for getting me into this love energy that now I want to pass on to other people. See, it's not good enough just to know love. You have to express love as well. You have to transmit it out there to other human beings. And now you see the fulfilling aspect of that. And that is People of Distinction. That's what we talk about. And, of course, that's what Daniel Acosta-Walz has been talking about as well. Through the book that was written by his deceased husband, Patrick Acosta. And I want you to order that book, Gabriel of Noah's Ark, and you can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and particularly run to his website, order it there too. Learn more about the fascinating world of Daniel at acostabooks.com. And I want to give you a special thank you, Daniel, for gracing the People of Distinction stage today, as it were, with my son Benji. Did a marvelous job, and we're totally behind everything that you said. Let's put it together, especially in these hard times. Let's look out for one another through love. It's the greatest way. Thank you so much, Daniel, for being our special guest on People of Distinction. We wish you all the best with the book, Gabriel of Noah's Ark, and also with your life directions. And even though Benji mentioned a few times, got to mention this too, From Whence Daniel Came. And it ain't the Ark, it's UR Link. UR Link Publishing, and they're one of the best in the publishing world. You got a book, you got to move it through urlinkpublishing.com. Thank you so much, Daniel. How did you like Benji and Benji's interview?
Great job. You did a great job. I really enjoyed it, and also, and I very much enjoyed what you had to say as well. So again, I really enjoyed the interview with Benji. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it too. We wish you all the best.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.